Hello, and welcome to episode 15 of the Sarah Seams podcast. My name is Sarah, and I'm coming to you from Columbus, Ohio, where I live with my partner Troy and our two cats, Alex and Moo. This is my crafty channel where I share all the things I'm making. Today I have lots of sewing, lots of knitting, and some other fun things to share with you. You can find me on Instagram at Sarah_Seams and on Ravelry at Sarah Ribble. Today is June 15th. It's Thursday evening, and sorry if the light's a little bit dim. It's still quite bright and nice here, but I'm still trying to experiment with like the perfect best time of day to do this to get ideal lighting, so we're all still figuring it out. But thank you for being here today. Welcome to any new viewers and welcome back to any returning viewers. I have lots to share. I have 5 finished objects. Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. I am wearing my Zadie jumpsuit. I'm gonna put a video in here of me wearing it so you can see. I talked a little bit about this on the last episode. This version I'm wearing is actually my wearable toile that I decided to make. The fabric is black linen rayon blend from Joann Fabrics. It's a pretty heavyweight linen. I think it's perfect for this jumpsuit, but it would be heavy for if you really wanted like a lightweight top or like a lightweight linen pair of pants or a skirt. It's definitely heavier than that, but it's really worked out well for this. So I had plans to make my final version of this in a navy blue Brussels washer linen, but in the first few weeks of the weather warming up and starting to get into the spring and summer seasons, I really realized that what I think I need more than a navy blue jumpsuit is a navy blue dress. Navy blue is one of my favorite colors. Goes with a lot of other things in my wardrobe, and I don't currently have a navy blue dress, which is kind of shocking to me considering how much of that color that I wear. And I just love this black version of the jumpsuit so much, and it's so close to perfect on the fit. I really don't feel like I need the navy one right now. I'd use a dress more in that color. So I'm just gonna keep this one for now. I definitely see more Zadies in my future. I think a printed one would be amazing. I think one in a more drapey fabric would be amazing. But I'm not gonna go ahead with the navy linen version, so I did want to just show you this black version. The only change I'm gonna make next time I make this, and I've already altered the pattern, is to raise the waistline 1 inch. Super easy change, and that's just going to make the fit on this perfect for me. This one is still very wearable because of the waist tie. I can kind of just like pull up the waist a little bit and it just kind of blouses out over the tie. So 100% wearable still. It's just, it can be even better on the next version. I did talk on the last episode. I love this pattern. I was nervous to make it and waited so long to make it, even though it's enormously popular within the sewing community, because I had never had a jumpsuit that fits me because of the difference in size of my top and bottom halves. And this one just, it hit the nail on the head, almost perfect fit right out of the package. I did grade between sizes, so I made size 18 to 22, so like on my top I made size 18, on the bottom I made size 22, and just graded between them at the waist, and that worked out perfectly. Like, I think it's a very forgiving fit on this design, with it being a wrap front and a tie closure. The other thing I was worried about was the neckline gaping, because I have a smaller bust and I've had that issue on some other wrap style tops and dresses, but I mean, I made no alterations to this and it just lays so nicely. I don't ever feel like I'm gonna be like gaping and exposing anything. Like, I would also, so this is the short sleeve version, there's also a long sleeve version, and I'd love to make a long sleeve version too, as more of a like, I feel like this black short sleeve version can be a year-round piece for me, but I do feel like the long sleeve one would be awesome too. So can't say enough good things about the Zadie jumpsuit by Paper Theory. It is available So I'm referring to my notes over here. It is available up to a 56-inch bust and a 57-inch hip. Highly recommend it if you haven't already made this, which I'm sure most sews have. It's, like I said, very popular. Go and make yourself one. It's really worth it. I am in love with this thing. So that's my first FO and what I'm wearing. My second FO is also sewing, and I'm gonna just insert a video here so you can see it because it's easier to show that way. This is the Midway jacket by Les Perline, and this is my second time making the Midway jacket. The first time I made the size J, I believe, which was what the size that my measurements put me into. And it was huge. This pattern has a lot of intended ease, and it is meant to be a very boxy, oversized fit, but it was so big. And I really like an oversized fit in my garments, but it was too oversized for my taste, and a little bit too long. I have a very short torso and tend to need to crop things a lot. So in this new version, you can see I went down a size. So I made the straight size I, and I also cropped it significantly. I think I took like another 3.5 inches off of this. So the jacket comes with a cropped view and a full length view, and I was already making the cropped view, and then I cropped it even an additional like 3.5 inches, I believe. The pattern is available. I made size, oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yes, I made size I. The pattern's available up to a 55-inch bust and a 60-inch hip. But like I said, there's so much ease in this pattern. I feel like you could easily size down like 2 to 3 sizes from your recommended size in the chart and still get a really nice fitting jacket, especially if you don't want such an oversized fit. So there's a lot of wiggle room here as far as the sizing. I would definitely recommend making a muslin if you are thinking about this, just at least like a rough mock-up of the body to see if it's gonna have too much ease for you. But I love this version that I just finished. The fabric was a remnant from Blackbird Fabrics from like a year or 2 ago when they had one of their remnant sales. And it's this amazing cloud denim. It's fairly lightweight denim. I would guess it's like less than 6 ounces, maybe like 4.5 or 5 ounces. But it's this almost like jacquard woven pattern of the light blue and the white denim that creates this really cool like cloud dye effect. And I just love how that's playing with the more like workwear features of this pattern. So the pattern has these amazing oversized cargo pockets on the front. And the cool thing about them, which hopefully I showed you in the video, is that you can either use them like from the top of the pocket by opening the pocket flap, or from the side of the pocket. So the way you sew the pocket on leaves room to still use it from the sides or from the top, which is a really, really cool feature. And it also has these cool tulip cuffs, which I've just never really seen on a jacket before. They're super interesting. And when you roll them up, they give this cool like detail on the cuff. There's just a lot of really nice details on the pattern. It's a really fun sew. It's quicker than you might think. The one thing I did do the second time that I did not do the first time, and would recommend to anyone who decides to make this, when you go to sew the pockets on, in order to reduce bulk, the pocket flap, it just kind of wraps around, like it just kind of wraps around the top of the pocket, the square bottom portion of the pocket. And it does not tell you in the pattern to baste those pieces together. You just kind of like insert the pocket into the pocket flap and overlap them and then sew it all down to the jacket. I would highly recommend basting them together first, because on my first version, as I went to sew it to the body, the pieces were slightly misaligned and I ended up getting holes between my pocket flap and my pocket, which doesn't impact the way the pocket works. It didn't like, the pocket wasn't falling off or things wouldn't have been falling out or anything, but it did kind of bother me that like the seam allowance from the pocket flap was like coming out. So I don't know if that makes any sense, without a visual aid, but I would recommend basting your pocket flap to your pocket before you sew it on if you choose to make this pattern. And it is a really good pattern. I really like it. This is a fairly new designer, at least new to me, and all their patterns are really interesting and fairly size inclusive, so recommend checking them out. All right, that's it for sewing FOs. Actually, that's it for sewing for this episode. I'm gonna move on now to my knitting FOs. But before I do, I just wanted to mention that I am going to be releasing a video on next Tuesday, the summer solstice, of my summer sewing plans. So if you're interested in hearing more about sewing and fabrics, that'll be the one for you, and that's coming out on Tuesday. So my first knitting FO is a pair of mitts, and it's my first pair of mitts. Here they are. These are the Cloudburst mitts by, did I write it on here? I did not. I think it's Ariane Gray. I could not find them on Instagram, and they just have a couple of free patterns on Ravelry, but look how beautiful these are. So you might think it's strange to be knitting mitts in summer, end of spring, summer, but our house has been super cold during the day inside, and my office is also freezing all year round. And I have been thinking to myself for like a year that I really need to make myself a pair of fingerless mitts to take to the office so that I can wear them when I'm typing. I'll put these on so you can see them. Or, you know, when I'm working and my hands are cold. So I finally got around to it. I just had the urge to cast on like a small, quick project. And so I did, and I knit these in 2 days. I knit one day and I knit the other one the next day. They're fairly quick. Let's see, here we go. My arm's like twisting weird. But yeah, I really love how they turned out. So the bottom of the palm is stockinette, and there's a twisted rib at the bottom of the arm, around the palm, and around the thumb. You do, this is also a free pattern if I didn't already say that. So yeah, and I mean, so nice for a free pattern. So there is a thumb gusset that's created with increases, you can see there. And then you pick up stitches for the thumb and just knit a little bit of thumb and then the ribbing. I've never done that before, but it was super easy. The pattern was very easy to follow and understand. And then you knit the hand and do the ribbing around the hand and bind off. So yeah, the yarn I used is Knit Picks Gloss Lace, and the pattern calls for fingering weight yarn, so I just held it double, and that worked out perfectly. It has this really pretty lace pattern. I'm like trying to see if it's in focus, but if my eyes are there, it's just gonna focus on my eyes. The color is Velveteen, which I love. I don't know about you, but when I was little, my mom always used to read The Velveteen Rabbit to me, and that's what it made me think of. So yeah, I really enjoyed these. It's a fairly simple lace repeat, but I think it's pretty effective, and they're very warm. I got this yarn from For the Birds, which is a secondhand yarn store, and I will link them down below. All their proceeds go towards wild bird rehabilitation. I've been shopping all their updates, really good prices on really nice yarn, and it goes towards a good cause. So yeah, those are my Cloudburst mitts. Also got to shout out this manicure my sister just did for me. These really cute little flowers. Anytime you see me having cute nails on here, that's courtesy of my sister. She just does it for fun, but she does such a good job. So yeah, those are my Cloudburst mitts. I'm very happy with them. Happy I'll be able to type away and my fingers won't be freezing off anymore. I see more fingerless mitts in my future. These ones feel kind of fancy. I'd really like to have a couple pairs of maybe just like ribbed ones or more like casual ones, like so I could leave a pair at the office and have a pair at home. And I don't know, when I finished these, I was like, they're fancy. So these might end up being more of a like going out mitten, if you will. Okay, next one is the Melange Sweater Junior. Here it is. So I knit this for my friend's son who's turning 1 at the end of July. Now you might be saying that looks really big for a 1-year-old, and yes it does. This is the Melange Sweater Junior by Petite Knit. This is the size 2 to 3, and it has a lot of ease even in addition to that. So it's definitely meant to be oversized, but this is also the 2 to 3-year-old size. I wanted him to have plenty of room to grow into it and hopefully wear it for years to come, you know, and maybe it can get passed on to one of my other friends' kids, as all of my friends are starting to have kids right about now. So yeah, I really like how it turned out. I would definitely make another one. It has a double folded neckband. It's a drop shoulder construction. Really, really cute. Here's the back. The one thing I will say is that, and the pattern warns you about this, that when you switch from knitting flat for the top to knitting in the round, to be mindful of your yarns and the way that you're holding them so that the pattern doesn't look different, and mine definitely does. So you can see, like right here, when I switch to knitting in the round, there's like a band of darker blue there. But then down here, it kind of like goes back to, I don't know, it kind of, I'm sure it won't bother anyone but me. And to be honest, it doesn't bother me that much, but you can definitely see it like right here. Whoops, right here. There's like a band. And I think I was so paranoid about like managing my yarns that it caused that. Like, I think when I just didn't worry about it and just knit away, it looked fine. So if I made another one, I would probably just go for it and not worry too much about like yarn management and just like let the yarns marl how they want to marl. Because like I said, when I started kind of just letting it do its own thing again right about here, it kind of like the rest of it reverted to looking like the top. So I don't know. It turned out really cute. I like it. The yarns are really nice. You can see how like drapey it is, even though it's 2 fingering yarns held together. And before I blocked it, it was a little bit stiff, but it's really softened up nicely. It smells very sheepy. I really know where that's coming from. The white in here is Knit Picks Stroll. It's just the bare color, undyed. And then the like blue-gray is Cloudborne Fibers. It's their 100% superwash merino single, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the color name, but I got a bunch of that in a D-stash. So yeah, I'm honestly thinking about knitting another one in similar colors for my other friend who has her first baby due at the end of November. He's actually due on my birthday, so that's kind of funny. Maybe we'll end up being birthday twins, but I might knit another one for him in the true like baby size. But yeah, it's just a little baby sweater. It turned out really, really nice. It took forever to dry. I don't know if that was the yarns or the fact that it was 2 yarns held together. I don't know, but it took like 5 days to dry in my basement. Okay. Last knitting FO. I feel like I've been very productive in the past couple of weeks. But a lot of these things, I was kind of halfway done with them already. The knits were a surprise, but they didn't take long. Last one is my Look at My Holes by James and Watts, and here it is. So I love how this turned out. I love this color. The yarn is Drops Muscat, and the color is just blue, but it's this really vibrant, like royal blue, which I'm seeing this color everywhere right now, so I'm happy to have some of it in my wardrobe. This is what I want the navy blue dress to wear like under this. So I had made a navy blue floral print dress that I was planning to wear under this, but it had some real fit issues. So it's gonna end up getting repurposed into something else, but I really want a navy dress to wear this with because I don't have a lot of other things in my closet that I would feel comfortable wearing this with. So I think I'm gonna use that navy blue linen that I was planning to use for my Zadie jumpsuit to make a navy blue orchard dress instead to wear under this, which I think will look so nice. this is just a really fun knit, and I really like this yarn. It's a good fit for this yarn, or for this top. I originally bought the yarn to make a Corin cardigan by Rebecca Clow, and I just didn't love the pairing of that yarn and that pattern, but it worked out perfectly for this. You can see it has quite a bit of shine to it. It is mercerized cotton, but it feels really nice when you're wearing it. It's very cool. I really like it, and yeah, very economical. It's drops, very affordable. I ordered it from Wool Warehouse, and I would definitely make another one of these. This one is not perfect, as I mentioned on the last podcast. You can kind of see like in here, if you look really closely, that the lace repeats are a bit off. I was having some trouble like keeping my stitch counts in order. I think anytime you're knitting something that's all over mesh or lace like this, and there's a lot of yarn overs and decreases, it can be tricky to like keep your stitch counts where they need to be, but I just kind of made it work, and I don't think anyone will ever notice that but me. I really like it. I'm excited to make that dress so I can wear it. This one is available up to a, oh, I should say, okay, so it's available up to a 67.5 inch bust, which is awesome. And I made size 5, which is the 49.25 inch bust. So that gave me about 5 inches of ease, and I really like the fit of it. It's definitely closer fitting than some of my other garments, but I think when I'm layering it over like a more full dress, that really works. So yeah, that's my Look at My Holes by James & Watts. My first garment pattern by James Watts. I've knit one of his accessories before, but his patterns are always really well written and very informative. I always feel like I learned something when I'm knitting one of James' patterns, so that's always nice. And this was a really fun, relatively quick knit. I did knit the 2.0 version that includes the short rows to drop the front neck a little bit, which I just really prefer short rows in my garments, so I did knit the new version, and that just came out a couple of weeks ago. All right, that is it for FOs. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into works in progress. Okay, my first whip I wanna share with you are socks. So I'm participating in Sari Nordland's Summer Sock Knit Along, and it's one of my favorite knitting events of the year. I've talked before about how this knit along is kind of what got me into knitting in the first place and really sparked my love of knitting socks. So basically how it works is you, so from this year, it's from the beginning of June to the end of September. The first of every month, Sari will release a new sock pattern that's designed for the cowl, and you just have to knit all 4 of them by the end, all 4 pairs by the end of the cowl at the end of September. And the idea is that you take 3 skeins of yarn and make 4 pairs of socks. So the last pair is always like stripey or color work. And I am working away on the first month's pair for June, and I have finished the first sock. So these are the Summer Solstice socks by Sari Nordland, designed just for the cowl. Open it up so you can see the lace on the front. It has this quite intricate cable and lace design. It's really pretty. She said that she named them Summer Solstice because the lace design reminded her of the like flower wreaths that they create for summer solstice. And yeah, they're really fun. I love, so there's the lace pattern on the front, and then there's also this thin cable running down the side, and then on the back there's this cable design, which is all twisted knit stitches, so they really pop out from the fabric. And then from the side you see like the lace and the cables. Really, really pretty. I haven't knit any socks this intricate probably since like Christmas, so it's taken me a minute to get back into it. I've just been knitting a bunch of like vanilla socks this year, and I definitely am trying to pace myself with these. They're harder on the hands than all of the other things that I'm knitting right now. So today's the 15th and I just finished the first sock today, and my goal is to really stretch these out over the entire month so that I don't like get burnt out on them. And most of the designs will probably be this intricate. They usually are. But I mean, look how beautiful it is. So it's not blocked yet, so you can see it's a little bunchy still. It has a traditional heel flap and gusset with a French heel. This pattern is available in 2 sizes. So the smaller size is a 61-inch sock and the larger size is a 66-inch sock. Excuse me. And I was kind of torn on which size to make. At first I thought I was going to make the smaller size, but at the last minute I decided to make the larger size, and I'm really glad that I did because of all this cabling, because there's even cabling in here as well. They're quite narrow, like the cables really pull it in. Hopefully blocking will help with that a bit, but I did go ahead and try this on and it fits me, but if I had gone down to the smaller size, it would have been too small. And that's not the end of the world. I could always give them away, but I really like the summer sock knit along socks are always so special. I tend to want to keep them for myself. So I am glad that I went with the larger size and it's going to fit me. It also has a tubular cast on, which is so nice in a sock cuff because it just hugs your leg, but it doesn't cut into you. I definitely have a couple pairs of socks where I haven't taken the time to do that, and they're tight around the top of the cuff. And especially like I have slightly larger calves, so like the tubular cast on just really makes sure that these are going to be able to accommodate my leg comfortably, which I appreciate. So I'm gonna start on the second one tomorrow. And this beautiful green speckled yarn that I'm using, there you go, is from a Knitter's Homestead. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. The color is Moonstone. And I got this in an Instagram D-stash. So really happy with how this turned out, and I'm excited to start on the next one tomorrow. Okay. Second whip is my Cinnabar shawl. So I believe I showed this for the first time on the last podcast episode, and this is one of those projects that just like makes my heart happy. Like I love looking at it. I love working on it. It feels nice in my hands, and it's probably going to be a long-standing project for me, but I'm really enjoying working on it. So let me show you where I'm at. And I guess I've got quite a bit done since last time I showed it to you. So I am using, my main color is this gray. It's slightly heathered. It's lichen and lace. Let me see, I have a ball band. Lichen and lace, rustic heather sport, 100% Canadian wool, and the color is smoke. So here is the cake. It's like a light heather gray. It's a beautiful yarn. It is rustic, but it's also quite soft, and it has a really nice halo. It's a single ply. So that's my main color. And then my contrast color is this. Oh, this is kind of a mess. Really pretty variegated neutral. And that is Ba Yarns. It is their Savannah base, which is 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, 80% superwash fingering weight. And it's beautiful, beautiful yarn, lovely drape. So the lichen and lace is a little bit stiffer, but I'm pairing it with this really drapey soft merino, and it's creating a really nice fabric that's thick but also soft and drapey, because I'm also holding the contrast color with this off-white mohair, which is Rowan Kid Silk Haze. And what's the color? It does not say. 634 maybe is the color. It's just like off-white. But yeah, it's making this really beautiful 2-color brioche. And you can see the pattern kind of, so you start with the contrast color brioche with the contrast color forward, and then there's stripes like here where then the main color is forward. So you can see it kind of breaks it up a little bit. So I would say like, oops, I just moved the camera. Sorry. It's an asymmetrical triangle shawl. So you can see the midline starting to kind of drift off towards the side. This side is 2-color brioche and this side is 2-color garter, which is really lovely. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying working on this. It's my first real big like shawl project, and it's interesting enough that it like holds your attention, but it's also very easy. So that's really nice, and I just can't get over the squish and the softness. It's so nice. I can't wait to wear this. I feel like this, I mean, this will be beautiful with like this jumpsuit. It's just gonna go with so many things in my closet, and I'm very excited about it. All right, next one. The next two are new cast-ons. Last weekend, I released a special video that was a vlog video of all my activities from last weekend, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of this video, but I did mention both of these in that video, so if you watched that, you might have already seen these, but if you just watched the last podcast, these are going to be new to you. And the first one is the Wood Anemone Tee by Sari Norlin. I'll put a picture in. This is a brand new design from Sari. It just came out on Friday and it is beautiful, and I just happened to get a perfect yarn for it, and I thought I'm casting it on. I cast off a couple of other projects, and then I had cast on fever, and I cast on 2 new summer tees, and this is the first one. So the yarn I'm using is this. So it is BZY, which I assume is meant to be read as busy. Busy Peach is the yarn dyer. This is their 100% Pima Cotton DK base, 218 yards to 100 grams, and the colorway is Bilberry. Really beautiful, like indigo blue, like a denim blue. It's very shiny. I would guess that it's mercerized. It's beautiful, beautiful yarn. I have 3 skeins. I got them from For the Birds, and one of them is significantly darker than the other 2, and I knew that it was going to be. That was mentioned in the listing for the yarn, and so I am alternating skeins, but let me show you what I have so far. So I've knit the neckband. The pattern does call for a double folded neckband. I chose to omit that because I'm going to be playing some pretty serious yarn chicken with this project. I only have 3 skeins of this yarn, which is about 650 yards. Now, the sweater is cropped to begin with. I usually even have to crop mine more if I want it to hit me at my natural waist because I have a very short torso, and it has, I think I can make the sleeves very short, like maybe once I separate for sleeves, like just knit the ribbing and not knit any additional sleeve, but we'll see. This is probably gonna be, this one's like keeping me up at night. Like I actually reached out to the dyer to see if I could order like a special skein of this. It's not available on their website anymore in this base, but they do still have this color, so I emailed them to see if maybe I could order one more skein, but yeah, you can see the stitch definition is just beautiful. It has this twisted rib neckband, and then it goes right into the cable and lace pattern. And I have just about completed the first repeat of that, and you can start to kind of see the leaf motifs popping out there. It's on stitch holder right now because I had to order some more needles with a longer cord, and those aren't going to be here till Saturday, so I will continue working on this on Saturday. but I just think it's going to be really, really nice. Hopefully I will have enough yarn. If I don't, I'm going to be sad, but it has been very fun to knit. So if I end up having to frog it and turn this yarn into something else, that's just fine. It's been really nice to work with. I knit the neckband in the darkest skein, the darker skein color. And then once I started the lace pattern, I started striping in the lighter skein. And you can definitely see a little bit the variation. But my plan is to knit the lace yoke with alternating skeins and then hopefully knit the body with the third skein that is like the lighter color. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. I do have a feeling that I'm not gonna have enough yarn, but I'm just going for it and we'll see. If not, if it doesn't work out, I'll probably still knit this in a different color because it's a beautiful design. So not much to show there. And then the next one I've made a lot of progress on already. And I hadn't cast this on in my vlog either. So I've done all of this since Sunday night or Monday, and it is now Thursday. This is my second Tolsta tee. Oh, sorry, I should say the wood anemone tee also is available up to a 63-inch bust. Okay, the Tolsta's tee. I shared on the last episode my first finished Tolsta tee, which I love and I've been wearing a lot, and I immediately wanted to cast on a second one. This design is by Rebecca at the Crayabea podcast, and it is available up to a 67-inch bust. I'm making size 5, which is a 47.5-inch bust, I believe. And let me just show you. I'm making a white one, a cream one. So this yarn is Knit Picks Cotton. And do I have a ball band? Yes. It is DK. The color is Swan, and it's 70% cotton, 30% linen. It's really nice and soft. I really like it a lot. So you can see I've just split for sleeves and started working on the body already. So initially I had planned to make this white version with rows of eyelets, just like how Rebecca made one of her samples. But as I started knitting on it, I was just kind of thinking like the gauge is large. So unless I want to change needle size every time I do an eyelet row to make the eyelets smaller, they're going to be pretty big and I didn't want to do that. So I just decided to knit this plain white tee because I think that I will wear that a lot more. The eyelet version is very beautiful, but I think if I want to be able to layer this and wear it to work and use it more often, it's probably better to just have it solid. And I feel like this is just going to be a really great staple in my wardrobe. So you can see it has short rows to bring the back up a little bit. This time I did knit twice as much neckband. So the pattern only calls for you to knit 3/4 of an inch of ribbing for the neckband, which is what I did on my first sample. And I found it to be a little bit too wide on my shoulders. So this time I just knit a little bit of a longer neckband. Then I knit the short rows and just went ahead and knit the yoke. And now I'm working on the body. It's very simple, but I think this is one of those things that I'll wear constantly. I honestly don't even own like a plain white tee. So like the idea of having a hand knit one appeals to me. So I will probably finish this in the next week if I had to guess. This pattern is really, really speedy. I see more of them in my future for sure. And the yarn is very nice. It's very soft already, and I feel like it will only continue to soften up with wear. This is not a mercerized cotton, so you can see it's a bit more matte and a bit more fluffy compared to the one I'm using for my wood anemone tee, which is much smoother and shinier, which is kind of interesting just to see that different effect. If you're looking for something more casual, I would go like this route. If you're looking for something more polished, I would go the mercerized route, which I also use mercerized cotton for my, look at my holes. Okay, that is it for whips. I am going to move on to acquisitions and some chat. I just noticed I have little white fuzzies all over me now from holding that top up, so please forgive my lintiness. I have just grabbed a few acquisitions that I have to share with you, but I'll kind of tie them into the chat. So last weekend was a super fun, busy weekend. We had Worldwide Knit in Public Day, the Columbus Arts Festival, and the fabric swap at my local fabric store, so to speak. And so I decided that I wanted to do like a little vlog about the weekend to share that experience with you all, and also to practice for my upcoming vlog series, which is going to be starting on Sunday. I'm taking a week off work next week, and I'm just going to be doing lots of crafting, lots of making, lots of fun little things, and I thought I would bring you all along for the journey. And not that it's gonna be much of a journey, it's probably just gonna be me sitting around knitting all day, but I thought I would try to do a series of vlogs, kind of like a Vlogmas style, but for summer. So that's gonna run all next week. I'm gonna try to do one every day from Sunday to the following Saturday. If I don't get to every day, please forgive me, but I'm gonna try my best. And I wanted to do a practice one, so I thought last weekend would be perfect for that. So I will link to that video down below and also in the card up here somewhere if you're interested. I think it was a really fun time, and it was like some of those things are things that I look forward to all year, like especially the supply swap. So I got a ton of stuff at the swap, like 2 enormous bags full of yarn and fabric. So I'm not gonna go over all of that here. If you're interested in seeing all of that stuff, please go and watch the other video because I do share all of it there in detail. And I can't even believe some of the stuff I got. It's so awesome. So definitely check that out if you're interested. I just lost my train of thought. Yes, so that's the other video where a lot of my acquisitions were. So yes, last Saturday was Knit in Public Day, which was super fun. Please let me know below if you participated. It was a good time. Troy and I went to the Park of Roses, which is a beautiful park here in Columbus. There's footage of that in the video as well, so I could knit and he could read his book. And then we went to a coffee shop that we like to do a little more knitting and reading. And then we went to the Columbus Arts Festival. I have footage of that as well. It's a really cool annual event here. It's very fine art focused. So I was surprised when there was a fiber vendor, and let me tell you about them. Because of course I picked up some yarn there. So it is Windy Lane Alpacas. This is their card. And they are based in London, Ohio, which is, I believe it's like 45 minutes to an hour west of Columbus. And it's owned by Chris and Karen Moulier. I think that's how you pronounce their last name. And they were there and I got to meet them and talk to them about their farm and their alpacas. And they had some beautiful alpaca minis from their farm. And they had some really pretty hand-dyed ones and some natural ones, and I could not choose. So I went with natural. And here are the colors that I got. I mean, these are just insanely soft and squishy, and I love them. So I ended up just picking this dark, natural chocolatey brown, this beautiful camel color, and then this really warm, light beige. The camel skein is a bit larger. That one's almost 300 yards. The other two are 200 yards. And it's definitely like a fingering to sport weight yarn. But I just loved this beautiful like natural gradient, and I can't get over how soft they are. I don't know what I'm gonna make with them yet. I really want to do some color work with these like natural colors, so possibly a hat or a hat and mitts if I have enough. I think I have almost 500 yards here, so that would probably be enough, especially if I paired it with like black or gray or something. So I got these beautiful skeins of local alpaca, and I love them so much. They feel very special. And I talked to them about coming to visit their alpaca farm, and I really want to do that. So I'm sure that's in my future. Then on Sunday, we had the fabric swap at So to Speak, which is an amazing local craft store. Fabric, yarn, notions, quilting, they have it all. It's a beautiful store. And while I was there, as if I didn't get enough things at the swap, I did also purchase a couple of things. It's recently under new ownership, and they've started bringing in some really interesting new product lines. And one of them are these handcrafted ceramic notions from Holland Hoof Farm Store, which I'm not sure if they're local. I need to do a little bit more research about them, but I saw these and I just had to have them. So look at these handcrafted, hand-painted ceramic buttons. So they have like a natural base, and then the little flowers are inked in navy blue and the centers are black. And I did get 6 of these because I just thought they would be so beautiful on a shirt or dress or a cardigan. I just love them. And then I also got a set of their stitch markers. And let me fix them here so you can see them. These are on terracotta, and then they're painted with glaze. They're just these absolutely beautiful little ceramic floral stitch markers. Look at those. And then you can see on the back there, terracotta, which is really cool. I've never really seen anything like that. So those were just a nice little treat for me. I love a fancy stitch marker. I love them. And the last thing is a skein of yarn that I got from For the Birds, and I got this at the same time that I got the Pima cotton that I'm using for my wood anemone tee. It's just a really pretty skein of sock yarn. It's actually the exact same color as my little art quilt back here. This is from Destination Yarn. It is their postcard base. It's fingering weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's quite a light fingering weight, actually, 460 yards to 100 grams. It's quite light, and this colorway is Venus. It's just this really pretty mauve. It's one of my favorite colors. I love it. So yeah, that is it for Acquisitions. I think I covered everything. If you're interested in Knit in Public Day or the festival or the material swap, please go and check out the vlog that I mentioned. It should be the last video that I posted on the channel. And I'm really excited to start the summer vlogs next week. I'm gonna try and keep them shorter so it's manageable to post them every day, but I always say that and then they end up being like 45 minutes long, so we'll see. I'm trying to keep them under 20 minutes, but we will see. Please let me know if you participated in Knit in Public Day. Let me know what you're working on. I really appreciate you tuning in to the channel. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Really helps us to grow this little community here. And I'm also going to be posting my summer sewing plans next week. So next week's going to be busy, lots of videos, lots of fun content coming your way, and just a big way to kick off summer. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.